Imagine waking up to a country where essential services grind to a halt, federal workers face the axe, and political leaders are locked in a standoff that could reshape healthcare for millions. Welcome to the heart of America's latest government shutdown drama. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this a necessary push for fiscal responsibility, or a reckless gamble that punishes everyday Americans? Let's dive into the details and uncover the twists most people miss. Picture this: the iconic U.S. Capitol, a symbol of democracy, shrouded in signs of closure amid a partial government shutdown in Washington, D.C. on October 5, 2025. This isn't just a backdrop. It's a stark reminder of how political gridlock can freeze the machinery of government. As the shutdown drags into its fifth day, the Trump administration is signaling that mass layoffs of federal employees could kick off if President Donald Trump concludes that talks with congressional Democrats are utterly stalled. For beginners navigating the world of politics, think of a government shutdown like hitting the pause button on non-essential operations. Agencies close, services slow, and workers might go unpaid, all because lawmakers can't agree on funding. The key sticking point? Democrats are insisting on ironclad guarantees for healthcare, specifically a lasting boost to premium tax credits that make private health insurance more affordable under the Affordable Care Act, ACA, often called Obamacare. They want assurances that the White House won't unilaterally scrap any spending commitments from a potential deal. On the flip side, Republicans, led by figures like Senate Majority Leader John Thune, argue that the government must reopen first before diving into these demands. President Trump himself has voiced interest in healthcare reforms, claiming the ACA has been a disaster for many and pushing for fixes to make it function better. But here's the part most people miss. This isn't just about dollars and cents. It's a battle over the soul of American healthcare, pitting calls for stability against desires for overhaul. White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett shared on CNN's State of the Union that while there's still hope Democrats might relent to avoid the economic fallout and layoffs threatened by Budget Director Russell Vought, the administration is preparing for action. President Trump and Russ Vought are lining things up and getting ready to act if they have to, but hoping that they don't. Hassett explained. When reporters pressed Trump about the timing of layoffs, he cryptically replied, "It's taking place right now," without further details. The Office of Management and Budget, central to Trump's efforts to downsize the federal workforce, hasn't commented yet. And this is where controversy brews. Is Trump's approach a bold step toward a leaner government, or a high-stakes bluff that could devastate families relying on federal jobs? Critics might say it's the latter, pointing to how layoffs could ripple through communities, affecting everything from food safety inspections to national parks. Proponents, however, might argue it's a wake-up call for Democrats to compromise, preventing a bloated bureaucracy. For instance, consider how past shutdowns have led to temporary furloughs, but this one threatens permanent cuts. Imagine a park ranger losing their job just as families plan holiday outings, or a researcher delaying breakthroughs in public health. Despite informal chats among senators from both parties to bridge gaps on healthcare and other topics, progress remains elusive. Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego told CNN, "At this point, no." When asked if they're closer to a resolution, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer echoed this on CBS's Face the Nation, blaming the deadlock on a lack of direct talks between Trump and the four congressional leaders. The shutdown kicked off on October 1st, the dawn of fiscal year 2026, when Senate Democrats blocked a short-term funding bill that would have kept agencies running until November 21st. Looking ahead, The Senate is set to vote on Monday for the fifth time on a stopgap funding bill already approved by the Republican-led House, alongside a Democratic counterproposal. Neither is expected to muster the 60 votes required to move forward. With Republicans holding a slim 53-47 majority and one GOP senator opposing the House bill, they need at least 8 Democrats to cross the aisle. But only 3 have so far. It's open up the government or else, Thune warned on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures, framing it as a stark choice. As this standoff unfolds, it's worth pondering. Should healthcare demands take precedence over reopening the government, or is that a risky delay tactic? And what if Trump's fix for Obamacare ends up dismantling protections for millions? Do you see this as a principled stand or political theater? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with the Democrats' push for assurances, or do you think Republicans are right to demand action first? Let's discuss.